One is 23 by 35 millimeter chandelier focal. Number 2 is a 40 millimeter floral patterned coin pendant. Number 3 is approximately 7.5 inch strand of 8 millimeter quartz round beads in lilac. Number 4 is 1 meter, 5 by 3 millimeter steel oval jewelry chain. Number 5 is 3 sets of 21 millimeter brass oval box clasps, antique bronze finish. Number 6 is 4 pieces of 22 by 19 millimeter swirled link chandeliers. 7 is 10 pieces of 14 millimeter filigree medallion findings. 8 is 10 grams, 6 by 5 millimeter round spacer beads. 9 is 5 grams, 20 gauge 6 millimeter steel jump rings. 10 is a 16 inch strand 3 by 2 millimeter crystal rondo beads in vintage mix. Number 11 is 30 millimeter purple quartz donut pendant. I love this pendant. The purples, cranberry and blueberry colors are really pretty. Love it. 12 is approximate 7.5 inch strand of 8 millimeter shell pearl man-made beads in violet. 13 is 2 pieces of 33 by 30 millimeter bumpy floral medallion pendant. 14 is 14 inch strand, approximately 6 to 8 millimeter freshwater pearl rice beads. 15 is 20 piece 7 millimeter 6 petal bumpy bead caps. 16 is 10 piece stud earring brass head stainless steel shanks. 17 is 10 pieces of 14 5 by 8 butterfly pressed glass beads in light violet. These are really pretty. 18 is 20 pieces of 30 millimeter brass ball head pins. They are 23 gauge. 19 is 10 piece strand 10 millimeter crystal coin beads in slate peacock. And last but not least, number 20 is a 7 inch strand natural amethyst 4 millimeter finely faceted round beads. Hey guys, so this is the finished pieces that I made with the vintage violet April's Bargain Bead Box. I was actually going to try to do like 1 or 2 major statement pieces, but honestly, it's just not my style. I like to do as much as I possibly can with the boxes that I get. And this is what I ended up with. I had a lot of fun working with this. I love purple. Purple and the antique copper and the vintage bronze is really down my alley. I like these colors together. I think they're beautiful. But before we begin and I talk about the pieces that I made here, I just want to show you what I had left from the Bargain Bead Box, the April's Bargain Bead Box. It's not a lot. So I have 2 pairs of the studs for earrings, which I can use, you know, on other earrings if I want to. 1 jump ring, And just a couple of links from the chain. When I was playing around with the chain and measuring stuff, I just ended up with a couple. I could put them back on the chain, it wouldn't make a difference. But honestly, that's not a lot left over. I pretty much used everything that I had in this box. The one thing I wanted to mention is that I did use, again, a lot of my own wire. This is 18 gauge vintage bronze wire, plated, like colored wire, to make some of my findings. I also used square vintage bronze wire, this is an 18 gauge, and purple 28 gauge wire, and some vintage bronze 28 gauge wire. I'll get into that and kind of show you what I did, but anyway, okay, let's get started with what I made here. So for the first piece that I actually worked on was this purple donut pendant. I fell in love with this pendant. I have actually never wrapped or dealt with one of these pendants before. When I actually started to work with it, there's a couple of times I came up with something that I thought I liked, put it on there, and it was horrible. I tried to bead something around it, didn't look good. So I went back to my first love, which of course is wire, and decided to weave something around this pendant, and it really turned out quite beautiful. And I love the color of this donut pendant. Like, I honestly, it looks like candy. Like, it is so pretty. It's almost a cranberry, blueberry type of looking stone. Like, that's the colors that I see. But with the purples, like, it ended up looking really pretty. And then I paired it with the 8mm quartz, like the 8mm quartz beads, the glass butterfly beads, and some of the small rondelles in between that. I used 28 gauge wire to attach these filigree medallions, because honestly, like, I had a real issue with what to do with those, because these holes are so small. Like, these holes are so tiny. The only thing that I could fit in them, like the only thing that I could fit in there was 28 gauge wire, because even some of my needles wouldn't go in there. And then what I did was I doubled them up. So I used, you know, one on one side, one on the other side, just so that if it flips around, you know, that you're gonna see only the filigree medallion. To add a little bit of a playful touch, I put these rice beads and used my own 11O seed beads. So these ones are purple. These ones I think are bronze colored seed beads. So I just add an extra layer for this necklace, and I thought it was quite pretty. This necklace is only about 22 to 23 inches in length. For my next piece, I decided to use the chain and just start adding beads and making it come to kind of a triangular point, if you will. I used my own 21 gauge half round wire, like I always do, to make the loops to hold everything together, and then just used the head pins that they gave us to add the little tiny rondel to the mix there. And then, you know, with the coin bead and the glass butterfly bead, and it actually turned out really pretty. I like this one. So what I did with I wanted something a little bit different. I wanted to do something unusual. So I used my 18 gauge, I think this is 16 gauge. I used my 16 gauge vintage copper wire, and I just made a little bit of decor, you know, to just add a little bit of fun to the piece. And then made my own hook. If you'd like a video on how I make my own hooks, because most of the time I actually do make my own little hooks. I think it just makes the piece look so much more interesting when you can, you know, when you can hand make the hooks. I think they look so pretty. And this one here, the way it hangs, you can see those. These are, you know, these findings are meant to be seen. And then for the coin pendant, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with this pendant, because it actually is really pretty all by itself. I just took some of my 18 gauge square wire and I decided to do a little fancy little bail on the top of it. And I think it turned out really pretty, and then just added a chain to it. And then again, you know, to add a little bit of interest to the piece, I don't know where I got these crimp covers, but they're quite big, these crimp covers, but these come in the same color as the vintage bronze. So I just crimped the ends of the little rope that I added to the piece. And then, like before, I made my own little clasp, my own little hook to hook it. And the nice thing about this piece is that you can wear it like crooked, you know, you can wear it like down like that, or you can wear it like this so that it's even. But either way, like, it looks really interesting. I found this piece to be quite interesting the way it turned out. I'd already had this in my mind when I first opened the box and I saw this cute little half moon pendant. I fell in love with this, and I thought, you know, I was thinking at first I was going to put it, I was going to add it, I was going to make it into a pendant, but then I thought, no, that's just, I wanted to do something totally different. And you know me, I'm always trying to think outside the box, and these crazy thoughts come to my head. And when I first started making this bracelet, I thought, you know, this is not really working out the way I was hoping it was, but my hubby there told me, you know, just keep going with it. So I did, and I started adding my beads and the little filigree medallions. And as you can see on the back, like I said, the holes for this are very small. So I used my 28 gauge purple wire to add, and of course my crystal coin beads. I put a couple in there to just fill this little void that I had here. And I thought that it actually turned out really pretty, and it fits really nice in there. And then doubled up on the rest of the chain. Like, I put 2 strands of the beads, the 8mm quartz, and a couple of rondelles in there, some of my 11/0 seed beads, my purple seed beads, and the jump rings, just to bring it all together. And I think it looks really stunning. Like, it's so different. You know, you can wear it like that. You can wear it like that. Here I used 4 seed beads to create a loop to attach to the jump rings. I just wanted to make it look a little bit prettier, you know, instead of just, you know, using the thread to go around that jump ring. If you're worried about like where the jump ring is spliced here, I put a little bit of E6000, just a little dab on the actual splice so that it doesn't come through and doesn't let go of that thread. So that's what I do there, just to, you know, enforce the piece if I need to. And most of the time I do need to. And you know, I'm a bracelet person, so I had to come up with another unusual bracelet. So I used the glass butterfly, the coin bead in there, the shell pearl, these shell pearl beads. These ones are handmade, as well as the spacer beads and the rondelles. And I used these 2 swiveled link chandeliers to bring it all together and hold that in place. And then used the small and large rondelles, 1 seed bead, so 1 bronze seed bead at the end of that, and then just attached the little filigree medallions with some 28 gauge wire, and then just extended the size of the wire with the rest of the jump rings. So this one here you can make, and then just add the jump rings as you need for your size bracelet, which I thought was really nice. It's very, very simple to make. And I used the brass oval box clasps to, you know, for both the bracelets. Then with some of the beads, I decided to make beaded beads. I actually like the idea of beaded beads. You know, you can take them off, you can intermix them, you can wear one, you can wear several. It's such a nice piece to wear because you can make a bunch of different colors. There's so many different ways you can wear these. You can even wear them with, like, on earrings if you wanted to make them into earrings. But I thought, I'm just going to make them into little necklaces. So that's what I did. And I used the shell beads with that, plus the medium and small rondelles. And then just put it all together with my 11/0 seed beads. These beads were made with the spacer beads. I wanted something just a little bit smaller, something unique, and they look really pretty from the side. And then I got these cute choker memory wires from Amazon and decided to use those with seed beads. I thought they were so pretty, but I mean, you can use them on any chain. You can put them on any chain. The holes are actually quite big. So they fit on a regular net, you know, on a regular chain or whatever you decide to do. But I thought they turned out really pretty. And then I made a few extra ones with the quartz and lilac. They turned out quite big because, I mean, they're big beads. But I mean, even so, they still look really pretty. They turned out nice. All right, with my beaded earring. Now there's a little story behind these beaded earrings. You see that this teardrop pendant is not from Vintage Violet. It's not from this month's box because I had a little mishap, and I'll tell you. I lost one of my 10mm crystal coin beads. It fell off this beaded mat, and it rolled right into the air vent, and I still haven't been able to get it out. And I was planning to do a pair of earrings with that, with these two, with the two that were left. Ended up that I couldn't do it. I spent a lot of time trying to get that bead out of the vent, couldn't get it out of the vent. So this is from these two beads came from Eureka Crystal beads, so I decided to use them. Now you can't really tell by looking at it, but it does have a little bit of a bluish, purplish tint to it. So when you move it around, it's sometimes blue, you move it around, sometimes purple. But you can, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but if you look at it in person, you'll see that it has a little bit of a purple tint. But anyway, I used the rice beads to put together this interesting looking little earring. And I used the spacer beads and some of the little rondelles, and I thought it actually turned out kind of pretty. I normally would use my ear wires, like my hooks, for this, but because this is what they gave us, so I put that on there, and actually it works out. It looks just as nice with that there, but and I'm probably going to be putting up a video for this if you guys are interested in that, because I think they actually turned out quite pretty. Very different. And what I found with using my 11/0 seed beads with these bigger beads, it made this piece a little bit, it made these earrings a little bit floppy, like it wasn't stiff at all. So what I did was I took my 16 gauge wire and I made a little hanger for it and just glued this with my E6000. I kind of glued it to the back. You could easily sew it in if you wanted, but I didn't really want to sew it on. I didn't want anything to change what the front looked like. So I just did that. And when they hang off the ear, they don't bend in, like they don't curve in like they were doing without. And it's very easy and it looks beautiful. You can't see the actual hanger wire in the back, but it just keeps it nice and flat and straight. So when it hangs off your ear, it hangs perfectly. And I thought they turned out really pretty. So with these coin beads here, there was a set of them. I thought, yeah, they definitely have to be a pair of earrings. I was thinking about making them into a bracelet, but I mean, I was running, by this time I was actually running out of beads and running out of, you know, product with the box that I could make a bracelet. So I thought, you know what, they're light enough. They're light enough that they make a really nice, cute little set, you know, cute little pair of earrings. Use the 8mm quartz and one of the medium-sized rondelles with some of my 11/0 seed beads and just put together these cute little earrings. And I just attached them to the stud earring finding that they'd given us. And yeah, they actually turned out quite pretty. I like them. And they're light. These aren't a heavy set of findings. Like, they're not a heavy charm or pendant. So, you know, putting this on your ear is not a big deal. It's not a heavy earring. As you know, I don't like heavy earrings. They actually are perfect for earrings. Then with the two remainder swirl link chandelier findings, I used the glass butterfly beads and 2 of the rice beads, and just used the head pins to bring it up the middle and make a hook so that I could hook it onto there. And then of course the stud findings for the earrings. And again, they're very light. These findings are not heavy. All right, and for my final piece, this piece actually came about for a couple of different reasons. Like I said before, I had lost one of these coin crystal beads down the vent. So I still had the other one sitting there, and I'm thinking, like, what do I do? You know, I had these shell pearls left over, these handmade shell pearls. I had some of those left over. I had a couple of these small little filigree medallions left over, and a few of these little, just this was all that was left, kind of. So I thought, you know, why not maybe try to make a pendant out of this? So that's what I did. This is where this one came from. And I used my 11O seed beads to put it all together. And you know, this is one of my favorites. I mean, I didn't know what to do with these leftover beads, and of course the missing, I only had 1 bead left, so of course you can't make a pair of earrings out of that, right? And that's how I got to use what was left of my bead box. I'm just lucky that I actually had enough here to do this with, because the amount of pearl beads that I had left over was perfect for the amount of holes that I needed in the little filigree medallion. So it worked out really nice. And the nice thing about all these necklaces, which I'll show you here, is that you can layer them all. They can all be layered with each other. They look really good together. Beautiful purple colors. Just everything intermixes and matches to a T. I really enjoyed working with this set this month. And as always, I always use a lot of my own wire. I think wire brings a lot to these boxes because there is so much that you can add to the pieces and just spread it, you know, go as far as you can with what you make with your box. As always, they give you a shipment identification key. Everything is on there, what you get, and you get a lot. So for all this in the US, you get it for $17.95. Now in Canada, right now, it's $22.95 to buy this, but still, honestly, like, you get a lot of stuff, right? You get a lot of stuff available to you. And then of course, your beads, you get a coupon code for, what is it, 30% off. So you get a coupon code for 30% off, and you have a chance to win a $25 gift card when you enter your piece on the Facebook page. That is what I made with April's Bargain Bead Box. I had a lot of fun making this stuff. This is the first time I ever wrapped one of these stones, so if you are interested in a video to see how I did that, I can do that as well. And these earrings as well. I'm probably gonna put a PDF together for those if you're interested in it, and possibly this one too. This one here can be made with some different things as well, but I thought it turned out really pretty. Before I go, I just wanted to remind you to go to this description area of this video, and you will see the rules on how to enter the giveaway, because each month I'm going to do a giveaway. The giveaway is coming up in just about a week, I think. It'll be at the end of this month. So yeah, get your name in there, go to my website and sign up for the newsletter, and you are entered. Get on over there and do that quickly. If you have any questions or comments about any of the pieces I made here, please feel free to comment and let me know what you think. I am going to get out of here now. You guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you back here for my next video. Have a good one, guys. Bye.